Hi everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. Today I have a video for you where I'm showing you how to use a ton of die cuts. This video is called Mega Layered Die Cuts because as you can see, I have layered a ton of die cuts together to create this really cool card. And the featured elements on this card are definitely the lovely layers pheasant. If you have not seen this die yet or weren't really sure how you could use it, this is such a really adorable die set. I love it. I love the details that you get when you die cut this die, and you will see how these die cuts work together today in my project. So this is the Lovely Layers Pheasant die set. You can see here all of the different dies that you get as part of this set. So it's really great. You get all of the different little bits to create these different features for these two beautiful birds. And here you can just see that I've die cut out all of the pieces for the larger pheasant. I'm going to say this is the male, but I don't really know. For those of you who are more informed about the male and female pheasant, this one I did basically choose the colors based on the graphics that Honeybee provides. So when you purchase this die set, Honeybee provides you with a layering guide, and I use that layering guide for my color inspiration. So I've just used colored cardstock, different colors here to die cut out all of the different layers. And here you can just see how they go together. And I'm just showing you here, just adding the glue onto the back of these different die cut bits and then layering them together just using my Honeybee tweezers here. So just using my Honeybee glue and my Honeybee tweezers to go ahead and assemble this first pheasant, which is gorgeous. What a beautiful creature this is when you put this all together. And hopefully you can see here, hopefully I've zoomed in enough so that you can see the detail that you get when you die cut these. So, you know, when you see a pheasant, you can see all of those beautiful little details in their tail feathers, for example. That is actually embossed into the dies so that you get that detail when you die cut these. I think it just makes them look really realistic, and they're beautiful. So this is one of my new favorite Lovely Layers. We do have in the Lovely Layers collection a bunch of different birds, and I think if you just really want to complete that collection, these Lovely Layers pheasants are just a really perfect addition to that collection of birds. Now, this one is the second one. It's a smaller bird. I'm assuming this is the female. Again, you can just see the different colors of cardstock that I've chosen here and how this is all layered together. Really, really easy to put these together just with a little bit of glue and of course your die cutting machine, and you can put these together in no time. So beautiful die cut pieces when they are assembled. There you can see on my desk. So love how those turned out. Now I'm also going to be using the Lovely Layers Apple Barrel today and the Lovely Layers Fall Bounty. These are two older die cuts or Lovely Layers sets, but they work beautifully for my project today. I thought I might use the Lovely Layers Wagon Wheel. I did not do that, but I do use the Barnwood Planks dies. This is a staple die. It's a go-to die in my die set for sure. I love how you can use those barnwood strips to create lots of different elements for your projects. Now I am going to add some color to some of my colored die cuts, and so I just put my waffle flower grip mat, the smaller one, onto my desk, and I'm just using a variety of different brushes here to create the detail that I wanted onto these different gourds. So the pumpkins I'm darkening up with a little bit of darker orange ink, and then I'm using one of the waffle flower detail blending brushes to add a little bit of detailed blending here in the creases that are embossed into the paper. So this is another fantastic die set from Honeybee. This is the Lovely Layers Fall Bounty. Really great. You can create all of these different gourd elements for your projects and some leaves as well. Now I'm going to just go ahead and add to the gourds some oranges, some greens, some browns, just to create kind of like some different color schemes with those different gourds so that they just look kind of interesting and more realistic. And again, I love how these Lovely Layers have the embossing in them when you die cut them. All of those little dot details and lines and so on are added to your die cuts when you run these through the die cutting machine. So really, really works well. I feel like Honeybee has thought of everything with these lovely layer element dies, And there's so many different lovely layers in the Lovely Layer collection that you can basically almost find something for any season of the year, or just, a general theme. Just really, really pretty. So really obviously going for a fall theme here. And I thought that these would just work beautifully with my Lovely Layer pheasants. Now, as part of this die set, there are also toppers for all of the gourds. So I'm just going ahead and adding those stems onto the gourds. And these dies here are also, again, from the Lovely Layers apple barrel. And I'm going to colorize them just like you saw me do with the Lovely Layers Fall Bounty dies. And then the barrel, I've die cut it from some gray, and I'm adding some brown around the edges in a couple of different tones of brown. The strap that goes around the barrel, I've die cut in a darker brown color, and I'm just adding, I think that was ground espresso maybe to that die cut. And then the barnwood pieces, I'm adding a lighter brown and then a darker brown, and then leaving the center area of the die cut, just the craft cardstock color. There won't be any ink on those center areas, just to kind of add some darks and shadows and light areas. Now, this is the gorgeous Fall Forest 3D embossing folder from Honeybee. This is new with the Halloween release. It's beautiful. And I'm going on to the debossed side, I guess this would be, and I'm going to actually add some ink to the deboss side. So I'm just going over this with Altenew Dewdrops, and this is going to keep those recessed areas of the trees white, and it's going to colorize sort of like the foreground blue. So it kind of, to me, looked sort of like the sky is what I was going for, and then the trees are going to stay white. So that's going to be my background piece, and then I'm going to layer my barnwood pieces so that they look like a fence. So I did cut one of the barnwood planks in half for the horizontal boards, and then the vertical boards are the actual size of the die cut boards. So I'm just kind of arranging these kind of in a wonky fashion because I did have an idea about where I wanted one of my pheasants to be here. And I just thought that it looked interesting on an angle. Now I'm going to just start to bring things in and assemble. So this is again the barrel. And because I wanted to stuff the barrel with these gourds and apples and leaves, I wanted to leave the center area open. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive around the outside edges and then layer that over top of the backer piece. And in that way now I can go ahead and add other die cut pieces inside of the apple barrel. And I'm just going to add the straps onto the barrel there as well with my Honeybee adhesive. The brown one is going to go down first. And then I die cut the detailed one from some silver cardstock. That's a mirror cardstock. And now here you can see I'm starting to assemble things. I've stuffed the barrel with the different elements. And I've decided that I want to put the lady pheasant up on top of the fence with one of the smaller pumpkins and one of the apple barrel flowers. And I'm going to put the largest pumpkin on the front of the barrel. And you can see inside of the barrel, there's apples and leaves and gourds. And then the larger pheasant is going to go over to the left there. So that's kind of the design or how I've assembled all of the details for my project. And I also did add a little bit of white splatter to the card, just a tiny little bit, just to kind of add a cohesive splatter element to the whole thing. I really like how that looks. And now I'm just going to start to think about a sentiment. Now, this sentiment, Happy Thanksgiving, is from the Mini Messages Fall stamp and die set. The coordinating die set has been released quite a while ago because it coordinates with all of the other Mini Messages stamp sets. So if you haven't discovered these yet, they're amazing. And we have one that's sort of like all occasion, and then we have them for the different themes and seasons. So they finish off a card beautifully. I love those mini messages. Friends, that finishes off my card today. Please check the links in the description box below to all of the different products that I've used today, and I will see you again next week.